The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Magi had departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I tell you. Herod is going to search for the child and destroy him." Joseph rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt. He stayed there until the death of Herod, that what the Lord had said through the prophet might be fulfilled, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity, 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had ascertained from the Magi. Then was fulfilled what had been said through Jeremiah the prophet. A voice was heard in Raham, sobbing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children, and she would not be consoled, since they were no more. The Gospel of the Lord. This is always an interesting feast day we celebrate, every 28th of December in honor of the Holy Innocents, those little children who gave their life in witness, in martyrdom, for the glory of God, as the collect says. And it's sad, but it's beautiful. It's one of those tensions that only God can explain. But we hold them up in honor. It's beautiful. So I was thinking in relation to the Holy Innocents, there's there's been a push in recent years in some dioceses to roll back the age of confirmation from teenage years to before First Communion. So like 7, 8 years old. And that's caused quite a stir, and kind of rightfully so, but it kind of pushes the understanding of confirmation a little bit. So, okay, the basic thought is like, well, how can an 8-year-old make a decision to follow Christ, a mature decision? And that's where the rub is. So we talked about this in seminary. Let's talk maturity. Are we talking physical maturity or spiritual maturity? We're talking spiritual maturity in the sacrament of confirmation, really in all the sacraments. Like, where's our soul at to receive that grace? And really, little children are pretty ripe, pretty prime to receive the grace of God. We see that today. These little critters, it wasn't a conscious decision, right? They knew exactly what they're doing. They're giving their life for Christ. But spiritually, they were prime to be witnesses, which is what confirmation's about, for Christ. So I just kind of put that out there. We're talking spiritual maturity in life in general. Yeah, physical too, but this is where it's really at. And so I just kind of make the distinction between childlikeness and childishness, right? We want to always be childlike in our disposition and our relationship to God the Father and Jesus our brother. But childish? No. There's not much room for that in the spiritual life. We need to be mature Christians, yes, in our physical stuff. We need to act our age, I guess. But in the spirit, we're childlike, right? We're God's children. So I just think that's kind of the what comes to my mind. This Feast of the Holy Innocents is that beautiful reality. The spiritual maturity doesn't reflect our age. We can be 80 and spiritually immature, and 8 and very spiritually mature. Hopefully the two balance out, right? But it's just a beautiful witness today that we celebrate the reality of these youngsters who gave their life in witness for Christ. And we have that same childlike disposition to do the same with our lives.